All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by Caroline Stanbury, who is starring in Bravo's new Real Housewives of Dubai. We always love a new Real Housewives series, and we are super excited about this Dubai one. So welcome to the show, Caroline.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
When we heard this announcement, we couldn't believe it. It felt like something that the Bravo world would love to see, but maybe could never actually come together. They haven't ventured too far out of the US market. Of course, we know you from Ladies of London, and we've gotten to know you from that. And so to now be able to do another show in Dubai, what is it like now getting to keep that relationship with Bravo?
I mean, it feels like a new one because I'm 7 years on. So, and if I'd gone back to London, then I'd feel differently. But I think this is such a change, even for me. Moving here, the backdrop, the whole thing is so different that it's like, it feels like a lifetime ago. It doesn't feel like a continuation. It's like this is a new show, new city, new town. So I'm very lucky. I actually got the chance to be on it.
Now, what made you move to Dubai, and when did you make that move?
My ex-husband made me move to Dubai, and for work, and about 7 years ago. And I'd never been to Dubai other than for holiday, and so I was like, oh, I don't know whether it's going to be for me, and I don't know anyone. But then I was like, well, if you don't take the chance, you never know. We're not trees; we can move. So I was like, we can always go back.
I love that. We're not trees, we can move.
Yeah.
Never heard that before.
So what was that first adjustment period like living in Dubai? How did you feel about it then compared to how you feel about it now?
I mean, Dubai changes so quickly. I mean, like even from the short amount of time I've been here, I remember I did a lot of crying before I got here going, oh my God, it's going to feel so foreign. And everyone was going, and I'm like, you can't swear. And I've got the worst potty mouth. But now I can't imagine living anywhere else. I really can't. I would never go back to the UK, really. I don't think. I think if I go, I'm going stateside, which has always been my end game. But then I started here, and it's been so wonderful to me and the children that I stayed. And now the show came here, so I'm here for a bit.
Now, you're familiar with reality TV, obviously Ladies of London, but what was so different? Because I'm sure the shows are not the same, the way they're shot are different. What was the biggest difference that you realized filming Real Housewives versus your last show?
Well, I mean, all of my last show, we were British, so we were brought up the whole way, we were all from the same background kind of thing. We all sort of knew, we have limits, we knew each other, I don't know what you say, it's like a culture thing, isn't it? We all were from the same sort of culture and background. This is such a mishmash, melting pot of people on the show and off the show that you really don't know what you're going to get, which is quite exciting for you, the viewer, and very scary for me in it.
Right. Definitely. It is certainly a melting pot of a cast, which is super exciting to see. There's people from all different walks of life in Dubai, which is interesting for our point of view, because I think everyone has a sort of stereotypical thought of what life is like for women there. And it feels like you guys are in charge. You guys are boss ladies, which is really, really cool to see. So what's it like kind of being these self-made women over there?
We are living. I mean, I wake up every day and I look outside. I mean, there's elephants being walked out in my backyard. And, it's sunny and I live like a queen. And, I have a 20-year younger husband. And, I live exactly like all you girls do over there, but maybe better because I'm in the sun.
Right, right.
That is true.
I go, my office is the pool.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we've never been to Dubai, but like Fran said, you just always hear so many different things about it, so many rules. Do you have to dress a certain way walking around Dubai, or is that like a common misconception?
Myth. I think a lot of people in America sort of mistake Saudi for Dubai.
Yeah.
You're not in Saudi. I think it's 19% of Dubai is local only. Everyone's like really an expat. Everybody understands. Like you've got to understand. You have Muslims, you have Jews, you have everybody living together, right? So it's a respect thing. Just as like they don't like if you go to the mall, you just don't wear hot pants or a bikini to the mall. Which I mean, I'm fine with that. Like but when you go to the beach, you can walk around in whatever you want. I mean, the beaches are filled with people in bikinis and everything else, just as a normal beach anywhere else. It is literally a respect level for when you're in public areas where locals may be, right? So, and that's really fine because the malls are so cold anyway. Literally, you want to put a sweater on and a tracksuit bottom. So nothing else changes. It really doesn't. It's the rules are here to help you. They're it's not like if you got caught in a mall in a pair of shorts, you're going to prison for 10 years. That doesn't happen. Another myth. Somebody might come up and say, "Madam, would you mind putting some trousers on?" And then you go, "Okay, no problem," and that's it. But I mean, even then, it doesn't happen that often. They're like, "Next time, wear trousers."
Yeah. Makes sense.
It would make sense that you don't show up to the mall wearing a bikini, even here.
I mean, everything else goes. Like I could go to the mall in this top, no problem, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have to be covered or shrouded. I probably put a jean jacket over it, but I mean, you can dress as you.
That's great. And this cast looks amazing. Everybody's gonna love the premiere, I'm sure. What was your relationship like with your cast members? And who did you kind of go into the show knowing the most?
I knew Nina and Sarah the most. I think my relationship with Nina developed the most. We both thought the other one was okay, before. We knew each other. We'd done hosted events. We'd been friends. We'd seen each other out everywhere. We actually hosted a few events together, but I always thought she was a little bit boring. And it's funny because, the show sort of forces you to spend more time, I think. And it was so nice because as it unfolded, we have actually become best friends. And, not a day goes by where I don't speak to Nina. And Sarah and I are very similar fish. She does a lot of public speaking. We've done a few panels together. So we've really bonded over that and sort of got to know each other more. And, she's an amazing woman. I really love I've really got to know all of them. I mean, I think Brooks was the biggest surprise because she had a few, she stumbled to get to know some of the girls, or the ones that didn't know her didn't love her because, she is sort of larger than life. But we got on straight away and I wasn't sure I would. And I actually love Brooks. She makes me laugh so much. Lisa, I struggled with a bit, and Ayan, we've just never really seen eye to eye. I mean, they always say you never know, might end up best friends one day, but right now I doubt it.
Yeah. Now we obviously know for every franchise, Real Housewives show, there's drama. It's not all best friends the entire season. Can you give us a little hint to what kind of drama unfolds for your guys' first season?
Well, I mean, I think you've seen it in the first episode, didn't you? Have you seen it? Yeah. Well,
Yes.
It just continues from there. The thing is, I think Ayan and I have a very, very volatile relationship. It's I just don't think we speak the same language, but nothing more than that. It's just we just don't.
Yeah. That is completely fine.
It makes
Go ahead,
sense
Riz. I'm cutting you off.
No, you're good. It wouldn't make sense if you got all the women together and then you were all best friends. Like life just doesn't work that way. You're not going to become best friends with every person.
It doesn't. And I think that's important also, just to say it's okay. I'm okay with that. You can't force things. And I think sometimes when you don't get on with someone, they kind of want to force and go, "Why don't you like me? But why don't you like me?" And then you're like, "Okay, now I really don't like you." So it's really, really difficult because, as I said, it started the other way with, I thought I'd get on with her and I really couldn't have given two hoots about doing anything with Nina. I was like, oh God, here comes the boring one. And then, and now I'm like, I want to be with Nina.
Isn't that great now that you can call her the boring one, knowing where your friendship is and that you guys can have that kind of relationship where you can pick on each other?
Yes. Yes, and that is actually really good, because the thing about that is, like, without, even with Nina, right? Even if you have a bad day or you say something you don't like, you can reason with. I can have a decent conversation with Nina. I know I can get through to her and say, look, I snapped, I had a bad day. This has, been tough for me. But, some of the others, you just don't, they don't really listen to you that way, I suppose. So I think with Nina, she's a grown up, and we just get each other, and it's great. It's amazing. I love it.
That's great. And we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of your relationship this season. And like you mentioned, your husband is 20 years younger, and we're seeing this connection. Yeah. And I loved like watching you kind of discuss like this idea of getting married again, and that he is not this, you use the term toy boy, which I thought was very funny. How has it been for you guys to be filming a show together? And was he always on board with doing a reality show?
Well, as I said, he's here now.
Yeah.
He is on board. He's always been on board. That's the great thing, because he's so much younger. He's actually, open to it. West, I think my ex was like, holy shit, I don't want to do this. Which is what a lot of husbands, because the fear of the unknown and moving into these kind of things, just don't want to play ball. And when they don't play ball, it's really hard for you to do it, because you do take it home, and you do sort of, it's hard to switch off. But he's really got into it with me, and the thing is, we've just had so much fun, because we do everything. I mean, what could I do? It's part of my life. It's like we work together. So it wasn't like I could say, you can't be in it or don't do it, because he's in my office, he's in my life. We actually do absolutely everything together, which I think people find bizarre, but we do.
What is a schedule like for you when it comes to filming versus your just day-to-day life?
Well, I mean, the schedule sort of starts when your day-to-day life starts. So what happens is, really, when they're coming, they ask you for all the main events, all the things that you might have going on in your life. So, that you can't change, obviously. So I was getting married, I was moving house, all these things they want to follow. And then, so you build a plan around that, because obviously, especially in Dubai, everything is done on permits. You can't just say, okay, ring them up in the morning and say, meet me down here in 10 minutes. It doesn't work like that, because, also the crew is so big. So it's really based on your day-to-day normal life, which is your office, your home, your this, and you schedule it like that, unless there's major happening for you. But it's a learning curve for everyone. So it's like a job on top of your job. But it's your life. How did your kids react to jumping back into reality TV? Actually, I asked all of them, because obviously you have to do a release form when you have children. And I was never going to push them to do it. Obviously I signed up, that's my choice. But I was like, how do you feel if I redo it again? And, one son was, my daughter was ready. She was like, I want to do it, mommy. Because, she'd done it. She's 16 now, so it's fun for her.
Yeah.
I have twin boys. My 12-year-old son, one of them, he's slightly bigger. He goes, oh, I want to do it. And then my other son, he was like, I'm not sure. And I said, well, why don't you sign it? I sign it, and then you can just do the days that you feel like doing it. And if you don't want to do it, just wander off. And he was like, yeah, because he goes, maybe I will want to do it. So I said, okay. So, they were really, I never asked them to do something that they don't want to do, ever. It's not necessary anyway. And I've got 3 of them. So one of them will play ball at some point.
Definitely. The odds are in your favor there. Did you feel any like negative reaction from the women when it came to your relationship? Because like you said, this is a big part of the beginning of the show, is like the prep for wedding prep and all of those things. So I feel like when that happens, when there is a housewife getting married, the other women love to chime in and give their 2 cents about what they think about the relationship.
Always. I got a lot. I mean, especially because he's young and hot. So I think straight away, they want to sort of, I think, what did Ayan call it? An Instagram husband or a marriage for contract, was it? That was it. I mean, amazing if you could get one of those. I don't even know what that would cost you. But if you could, girls, go out and get it because it works. No, we've been together 3 years. This is not a marriage of convenience or contract, and we do have sex. Um, but I hear it. But actually, nothing the girls could say is nothing that I haven't already heard. Can you imagine when my ex-husband found out I was dating what he called a child, or my parents, or anyone else? So good luck, girls, at dishing him more, because I've heard it all before.
Yeah, I feel like you can handle it all at this point. And if you guys, which it seems like you obviously do, you really love each other. Like you said, you have a great relationship. Who cares what anyone really says about it?
We really, 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 I think, have been through so much to get here. And imagine, forget even me, everyone talks about what I went through. Can you imagine him going home to his mother and telling her, Mom, I've met a 43-year-old woman divorced with 3 kids, and I want to marry her. And I'm moving to the Middle East.
Can you give us a little insight to how she reacted to that?
She cried 4 times, not from happiness.
Yeah.
So no, the girls can't really rock my boat.
Yeah, you obviously care about his mom more than the girl's opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like, and I am not comparing the 2 shows at all, so I want to preface it like that. But we just did something recently for Jersey Shore, and we talked about like the reaction of people in New Jersey reacting to the Jersey Shore coming out. Was there a strong reaction to the people living in Dubai about a Real Housewives series?
Yes, there was. I mean, different reaction to Jersey Shore.
Right. I was like, I want to make sure I am not comparing the 2 shows.
But actually, funnily enough, I think they think we are Jersey Shore, so that's probably why. Yes, because I think it's very hard to understand with the title, Real Housewives of. And obviously, we're not a docuseries on Real Housewives of the Emiratis. And I think that they need to see it. But it's coming out here. It'll be fine. I think they just haven't understood that this is a massive franchise. It's been going for years. And they think that, to them, we are not indicative of Dubai housewives, which is the absolute truth, or the Middle Eastern housewife. We are not, but we're not trying to be.
But also, like, neither is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or they're also not indicative
You're
of
American.
Yeah,
you're Americans, and your show is American. They've never had a reality show out of the Middle East. So when I mean, frankly, we're trailblazers, and you don't get anywhere in life being second or third. We're going to be first. We're going to take the heat. We've taken a lot of heat, and hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks, they'll be eating their words. And mark my words, we will be everywhere, and somehow they're all going to want us. Right now, we are down there. We will rise.
Yeah, and they're all going to tune in. They're all going to watch.
Ratings are through the roof.
Yeah,
through the roof.
I get what you're saying, though, with the title Real Housewives. Like, they're thinking in their head, this means real, because they're not used to the shows like Real.
I mean, they are thinking that we are taking the piss, basically, that we're going over to America and going, this is how an Emirati housewife lives. And they're like, absolutely isn't. But by the way, you wouldn't want to film that either. You know what I mean? It's like that we're just very different. This is what it's meant to show, is how people can move to the Middle East and have this amazing sort of life experience, which it is. I mean, just as they have welcomed us, and look how successful we have become as women in this town. And I think we are going to be celebrated, because once they see what it does for tourism and what it does for, people going, oh, well, I could go there. Or, like, I get it all the time just from my Instagram going, oh my God, you make Dubai look incredible, and I'm going to stay in your hotel, and I want to go where you got married. It looks so amazing. So I think that they are going to be over the moon when they see what this really is.
I think
Yeah.
that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
It's not meant to be that serious. I think the problem came, well, you know what it's like when with Housewives. The whole point, or the way to get when it's new, they sort of shove all the worst bits into a trailer, and that maybe we should have taken baby steps. But anyway, it's out and everyone's talking.
Yes, definitely. And I do think it was a bold but smart move to keep that Housewives name with it, because it is so universally recognized, and it does create that buzz. Because sometimes I look back at like Ladies of London, and I think that could have just been Real Housewives of London, and I think it probably would have gotten more attention.
It would have. And I think, funnily enough, that was, I think, partly to do with us. One of the girls told me that it was going to be Housewives. And then I think a few people kicked up a fuss because, again, in England, we were one of the first.
Yep.
And they'd only had cheap reality shows, really cheap reality shows. And we're all from good families and good backgrounds. We're like, well, we can't do that. We're not going to be a housewife. And then we'd seen, I think in those days, however many years ago it was, we'd only seen Teresa Giudice throw flip tables and things like that. And we were like, oh, we can't do that. So I think that's how that happened, really. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard. Maybe it's a rumor, but I would believe it.
Yeah, that would make sense. And I mean, your name has always been out there. I feel like you have been a staple of the British pop culture and everything that's going on over there. How has that changed in your life from, say, the tabloid stories early on to now, the reaction now?
I think actually the reaction to me coming back's been immense, huge, like really, really nice. I think people, because I think Lisa Vanderpump was so loved with her voice. I think it's the accent. I really believe you guys just love the accent.
Honestly, it is the accent, and we do. We love Love Island, and so listening to you, I understand everything you're saying because of watching the show. You watch it with subtitles, and you learn all the phrases.
I think if I did a drive-by shooting now and just smiled, everyone would still go, "Oh, there she goes." It's so people just think I can say anything in this accent and get away with it. I think, and the Americans just, it's the plummy English accent that I think I get away with. People just love it, and I think I don't think there's anyone on Bravo with it anymore, and maybe that's why that people are fond of me. I think because they loved Lisa's accent. Now they've got mine. I don't know, or my lines, maybe my one-liners. I haven't really thought about it. But for tabloids, I've lived here quite. I mean, other than doing a few magazines and things like that, I'm not really in the tabloids anymore. I do things like Hello and at-home shoots and I have furniture line and things like this. I've done, the front cover of Harper's Bazaar and more, editorial, which I probably won't be in anymore. No, I'm just joking. But than tabloids here. And we they don't have tabloids really here in the Middle East. There's no paparazzi. That's the best thing. So when you see all those celebrities and they say, there they were, captured on the beach, caught off guard. No, they weren't.
So there really is no paparazzi there?
No, it's illegal to take a picture of another person without their permission. So there's no paparazzi. You'd have to call them.
Very interesting. That's good to know.
That's why I think that there have been recent celebrities who have gone over there for, I know you have a friendship with Lindsay Lohan. I feel like that is a great thing for Lindsay, for her, right? You go, it's like,
I spoke to her today, actually. Exactly why she moved. She said, I can just be a normal person. You really can. People are very respectful, and that is nice. There is no lens through the bushes looking at you. There's no, so it's good. Yeah, she loves it here.
You think we could potentially see her as a friend of the program at some point?
Oh, somebody else just asked me this. I haven't asked her, actually. She asked me to go for lunch. I'll ask her. I don't know. I doubt if she does it, she'd want to be a friend of. I mean, do you want to be a friend? You'd rather be a main cast, I would have thought. But I know she's about to go and do a movie, so I'm not sure this is top priority right now. But maybe it would be fun. Maybe
she'll got to ease her into it.
Yes, I know everybody wants her.
Yes, exactly. That's why, everybody loves to see what she's doing. Now we get this great intro of you for this new show. There's all these rumors that we're seeing a softer Caroline. Is that how you feel watching?
Am I
Yeah.
softer?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess, we didn't get to interview you back then. So for now, I think it's great.
I do think I'm a bit softer. I'm better with, I have more time on my hands at home. Well, not time on my hands, but I work from home, so it helps. So I'm with the kids more. I think, my new husband makes me sort of like take time out, which I never did before. Like we're off to Bali for a month. If he sends me one more picture of a rose petal bath and says that that's what we're going in, I'm going to have a heart attack. So maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. What's we hear this luxury brand ambassador kind of title. What does that really mean to you?
Oh, it's bloody great.
Sounds like the best job ever, if you ask me.
Kind of is. I'm not going to lie, girls. Yes, I don't know how it happened, really. I think it was just moving here. There wasn't really anyone else except me and Lindsay had been on TV and sort of moved to the Middle East and sort of had a profile. So I think, by that I mean like face off, but I'm not a model. So I never know how you say it. So I work with some of the biggest luxury brands and I'm sort of like a face for them and I represent them and I get to travel all over the world. So I work for one of the largest hotel groups in the world. They've got, I think, over 1 million rooms, 7,000 hotels. So I go everywhere with my kids and I'm the face of Jacob and Co over here and a luxury ambassador for them and like jewelry. It's just so much fun. I work for a billion-dollar asset company. And what do? I don't know. It's like being a spokesperson. How about that?
Yeah.
The spokesperson for the company. And I travel and I do everything for them. And then I have my shoe line, I have my podcast, I've got a book coming, so many things. So it's just been amazing. And, I'm very, very, very blessed. And then, my husband and I work together. So it's great.
Yeah. That sounds like an amazing deal to have. You are just the face of these luxury brands and you get to travel, but you're also working very hard. It's like the best of both worlds.
I ended up being an accidental, it's like travel influencer, not on purpose. I'm 46 years old. It's hilarious how I fell into this. And I'm always laughing how I can be the face of all these companies, clearly, but I think only because I live here. I mean, if I was in the States, I don't think I'd have these massive jobs. And that's the great thing about here, right? Because it'd be somebody much younger and prettier that would have it or more famous. But here I am quite lucky and I've signed them and they're all mine and I had them way before the show. So it's been amazing. And you'll see on the show, I get married at one of the hotels that I'm with and I'm in this beautiful house. I mean, part of my contract was to live in a $15,000 a night villa for 45 days. That was before the show. When the show came, actually I had to cut it down out of my contract because to have the cameras in my villa in a hotel wasn't convenient for them. But I had to live there otherwise. 45 days of my own butler. Amazing job. It's so much fun. So much.
That is amazing. And only more deals to come after the show.
You think?
Oh yeah.
I'm
here. You mentioned your podcast, and even the way you said podcast sounds way cooler than the way we say podcast. The Divorce Not Dead podcast. I love the name. What do you love the most about doing that show?
Well, I mean, that show has become, when I started, I'd never done anything like this. And someone interviewed me. Actually, it was Dear Media interviewed me. And on their podcast, and they were like, "You really should do this." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well then sign me." And they're like, "Well, do you how many listens do you have?" And I'm like, "Well, none." And how much experience have you had? Well, none. And they're like, "Well, come back when you've got, I think you have to have 14,000 an episode or something." And I was like, "Oh, how do I do that?" So I just sat at home and opened my computer in the Middle East. And off I went. And suddenly now I think we're at 2.5 million. It was just crazy. I became top 20 for relationships on Spotify at some point. And it went just nuts. It went absolutely nuts. I don't know. I think it was a topic that women need to hear, because I think there's this sort of feeling when you're in your 40s and you get divorced that, oh my God, life is over. Like, I mean, have a pity party. You may as well jump off the balcony because nothing good's going to happen from now on in. And, I wanted to sort of blow the lid off that and say, first of all, you girls look quite young. And if you're not married yet, I say don't do it for quite a while and don't worry about it. And I think also life has changed. Like, marriage shouldn't be for the rest of your life. It should be till you're not happy. And if you do it right and you do it like, you make a prenup and you do everything and you know what you're going to get at the end and how it's going to work, then it's just simple. Life is really simple. And that's what I did with Sergio, because he had his soccer money and I had my stuff. And I was like, my stuff's got to go to my kids. And so we just, we talked about all that, put it on paper. And then we were like, okay, great. Now we can get married. And then, I was always like, friends were like, well, what if he leaves you? Or what happens? And next, nobody died.
Yeah.
And
I love that advice.
Yes. And I think all young girls, I'm going to teach my daughter that. Don't look forever. Look for what makes you happy today. And just, enjoy. Because saying you've got to find your forever fucking human is ridiculous. I've been 25 different women in this space at this time. You'd have to have a man with a hat like for every day of the week. You just have to relax, girls. Nothing's going to happen if you get divorced. Nothing, I mean, oh, you might get lucky. Come and say hi. He's all naked.
I just got a shower. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
What a treat.
Yeah. I mean,
hello,
I'm
Sergio.
I'm miserable over here. Miserable.
The listeners are going to be very excited.
Life's shit.
Yeah. This is
Looks like you're doing pretty shitty over there.
Yeah, it's been a real tough year for Caroline. I have for sure.
Divorce not dead, girls. Divorce not dead.
Yeah.
I love that
I
so
love
much.
that advice. And I think, obviously we think podcasts are great and you can talk about anything. And I think that there's something out there for everybody to listen to learn from, and to talk about. So I love it.
100%.
Yes, I think that's a perfect spot for us to wrap up and end, and everyone can check out The Real Housewives of Dubai. The premiere is when you guys listen to this, the premiere has just come out. So make sure you're tuning in. You're tuning in on Wednesday nights here in the States, and here in the States sounds like I've never said.
You all of a sudden picked up on it.
Yeah, all of a sudden I said here in the States. But Caroline, thank you so much. Sergio, nice to meet you, and hope you guys enjoy watching the season unfold.
Nice to meet you both. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Enjoy your night.
Bye.
We will.
Yes, we will.